welcome to Paramerican Radio. We are back broadcasting live from AGH HQ2, I call it, here at the Water Gardens building in Santa Monica. I am Chad Kalick, your host, hanging out with Justin, Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Highway Holstein. You know I call you that?
That was your fighting name on...
That was, but I think you earned it because Justin has worked steadily for the last 2-3 days through sickness. He actually, I texted him yesterday to make sure that he wasn't feeling bad or feeling too bad to come to work, and he texted me back, "I ain't got time to bleed," which is a Marine line from Predator.
That was your brother and say that all the time too.
Yeah, so Justin has been riding the warrior horse, battling through sickness, and I know his sickness. I just got over it, as we spoke about last time. So it's good to see Justin feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little bit better today, right?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know if it's that Dayquil or what it is, man. I'm telling you, it's the strangest. It's like having an out-of-body experience,
Dayquil is?
Well, it's like I'm walking around and I feel like I'm in like one continuous long thread, man. I don't know. It starts
Have you fallen asleep on Dayquil?
No.
Don't do it. You will have crazy fucking dreams.
Huh.
Yeah, Dayquil is designed to. It's the opposite of NyQuil. It's designed to keep you awake while you're still taking all that collection of, medicines basically. But if you fall asleep on Dayquil, because some people have nightmares from NyQuil, right? So if you fall asleep on, I've never had nightmares from NyQuil, but I've fallen asleep on Dayquil twice. One of them on a plane, and both times, man, I had some like Jack the Ripper shit type nightmares. Really crazy, gory, crazy stuff. So, Having said that, who's in the room. I'm not leaving him out. How could you leave him out? The man of any hour. The man of any hour, Stevie Tinder Zilberman. How you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. I wanted to start this off with a Tinder story. Okay. This podcast helped me get a 10 out of 10 hot, perfect personality, perfect everything girl.
Yeah?
And yeah. We met at the bar. Right. Yeah, we met at the bar, we vibed, whatever, went home, started talking, and I gave her the link to the podcast. And she listened to 2 episodes straight through, and she messaged me and she said, "Wow, you're much smarter than I thought."
Oh, is that, you sent me that screenshot last night?
Yeah.
That's what that was.
The funny part is Steve wasn't picking up on any of this stuff. He's setting up his profile and doing stuff, and I was like, "You should put links." I mean, that's kind of a significant part of who you are. You pick that up, especially in a podcast, right?
Yeah, no.
And he's like, "Oh, you think so?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "Man, if you're a radio type personality, podcaster, or whatever," he goes, "What, doesn't it sound like you're bragging though?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's what you do."
It's braggable,
right?
Yeah, and it's cool shit. Yeah,
yeah, and beautiful, beautiful girl. Her Instagram is Lana Del Gay. If anyone wants to go check it out.
He's shouting her Instagram out. Ouch.
She's pretty big on Instagram. She doesn't need any shouting out. But, if people wanted to get a visual on who I go on dates with.
Lana Del Gay. Thanks, sweetheart. Thanks for taking care of Wonder Boy Stevie Tinder Zilberman. Did she hold your hand? Or did you do more?
She did hold my hand, I think, for a minute, or maybe it was a second. I don't know.
So did you guys, last night you hung out?
No, it was two nights ago.
2 nights ago.
Yeah, but I came really, really late, and, I was there for maybe hour, half hour, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was more just to meet her, and then we've just been texting and whatnot, and she digs the podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I saw she said she listened to 2 all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's listened to a third as we speak.
Oh, wow. Right on. You should ask her if she wants your autograph. Hey, what's cool is I'm literally getting, and just the shout out to our audience in general, I'm getting pelted with new listeners every day. My social media is getting hammered right now. So to those of you listening, our slogan we had for our media campaign is real simple. It says Paramerican Radio, tell somebody. I love it. Real simple, tell somebody. Yeah. So those of you out there that are listening, you're obviously telling people. And that's the key, man. You cannot make it in this world today without word of mouth. It is literally everything in our business, what we do, and you guys are doing an amazing job of getting the word out. And I really mean that. Having said that, I guess I can make one little announcement today. In the last podcast, I talked about a lot about the industry and the business and a big meeting that I had, and I will shout his name out once the paperwork or the details are official. But we got a new member of our team, man. I'm super excited. So I am officially signing with the Gersh Agency, which is excellent. They're one of the big 5 agencies in Los Angeles. And specifically my agent, and again, I will shout his name out once I make sure he's cool with his name getting shouted out. But he's a super cool guy. Meeting went awesome yesterday. Spent a lot of time on the phone with him today. I cannot wait for you guys to meet him, which is going to be a priority the next time you're back in town. Already set it up.
He almost sounds like Ilya to me, the way you describe him.
Yeah, cool guy, man. He actually lives literally 3 blocks from me. His office is dope, dude. It's on Main Street in Santa Monica. So, I mean, it's killer. Big, cool balcony right across from the water and everything. Super nice guy, but what I liked, and Kurt really liked him a lot too, what I like about him is he was just, you meet people, and there are guys in this world who come off as salesmen and guys in this world that come off as they couldn't get any more honest if he just came off as, he's a New Yorker, he's a look you straight in the eye, tell you what's up type of guy. Really funny dude, musician. We just had a lot in common, and he had a chance to further review everything of mine. I had a chance to kind of look up what he's doing, and he's got a lot of cool clients that he represents. One of his clients is Kevin Pollak, which is interesting because Kurt, my manager, is longtime friends with Kevin, so didn't even know it, didn't even put it together.
Kevin Pollak's famous films would be
he was a Few Good Men.
Yeah.
That's why I always think of him, man.
Yeah.
He was the assistant attorney.
Yeah.
In Few Good Men, Tom Cruise's assistant, but he's been in a ton of shit.
Well, he was also in that one where they faked, it was some weird name that they kept saying, and the boat exploded. God, what was that? Kevin Spacey plays this character who's almost crippled through the whole police interview. Kevin Spacey.
Usual Suspects?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right. It wasn't that. Yeah, that's right. See, as I can see, he's been in tons of stuff. Yeah. But Gersh is a killer agency too. I mean, these guys represent Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? It's big time players in the game, and they've got the best literary department in town, which is great. If you guys who follow me, you know that I'm in the process of writing a book. And so that's definitely going to be something that's going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner than later. So there'll be a lot more to talk about with this in the future. I don't want to let anything out of the bag prematurely, but this, it's great when you meet guys that get it, and everybody gets business, right? You want more money, you want more opportunity, it's all the same shit. Do you get who I am, what I'm trying to accomplish?
Right,
You know what I mean? Do you get it? He gets it. He just said the right things, made the right references, brought up the right people to work with, the right companies, that he saw us working with. He was dead on, man. Dead on, he's a big rock and roll guy. I mean, he's into metal, you know what I mean? Just made a lot of sense. So,
God, if that all works.
Yeah. Well, it's off to a tremendous start because this week we're going to start talking about the world tour, doing here, a couple Canadian dates, talked to Thomas about this, back to Australia, and then up to the UK finally for a Blood Red Sky with Kieran, and putting it all together in a row. We have never done a world tour before, but that is something that's on the table, that's being kicked around right now. Wouldn't that be something? I'm going to go ahead and bet that happens. So, anyways, good news in La La Land, you know? And tonight is a big night for La La Land, right? Isn't tonight the
Oscars?
Yeah, they
Oscars?
won. La La Land won.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just meant LA in general, but La La Land won.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I heard Kid can't sing for shit, though, but he must do well enough. I heard he, like, sings okay. Like, what's his name? La La Land, the main actor in it.
Yeah.
Is it Casey Affleck?
No.
Oh,
That's Manchester by the
right.
Sea, which I thought should have won. That's an amazing movie. That's going to be my review today. Manchester by the Sea. Have you seen it?
No. I know Casey won, though, for best actor.
Should have. Absolutely. That's great freaking news. That was my favorite movie of the year, Manchester by the Sea.
I haven't seen that one either.
Oh, so good.
I can't do those sad movies. I heard it's like the saddest movie you could...
You know what? I heard that too. No, it's not. Not even close. I didn't even cry.
Was it kind of funny at times though? I mean,
hilarious at times, but it's like it's real life humor, you know, real life shit. There's a moment in the film that's anybody who has a child would be sad. I mean, that's a horrific event happens. I'll talk about it later on when we review it. But Ryan Gosling, I heard he is, you know, it's not like in Ewan McGregor can sing his fucking ass off. I mean, you know, Ewan McGregor was singing, I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind, you know, in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge. Like, Ian sang all that, you know what I mean? Or Ewan McGregor. And I heard Ryan Gosling was rough. They were like, not really a singer, but neither is Tom Cruise. And they made him sound like Axl Rose in that Play remake.
He's not a good singer, though?
Horrific.
Really?
Yeah, horrific. Yeah, he was completely doctored. You ever seen how bad he sings in Top Gun? And You've Lost That Love and Feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just murdered.
That's true, yeah.
That's before auto-tuning.
Right.
And then he did, was it called Rockstar or something? Yeah, the play that they remade.
Yeah.
And they made him sound like Axl Rose in that thing, you know what I mean?
That's true. If I think about it, he did sound really bad in Top
terrible.
Gun.
Baby. That guy, everybody around him sounded good, but he sounded terrible in that.
Do you think there's any chance that he intentionally sounded bad just to make it clear, like, you know?
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
Because why would you? Yeah,
right.
No. He's trying to pick up on a girl in that scene, no.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's singing it very slow, but he's off also in my favorite movie of all time, Magnolia. And the drug
Oh, right.
part where he's singing
the
Man song. It's not going to stop till you was up.
I thought he did pretty good there, though.
No, he's off. If you listen to it, he's off.
On tone?
Yeah, he's off on tone. But it's hard to tell because it's like it's slow, it's raining, he's in the car, they're overlaying it. But if I've listened to it a bunch of times to see if he's like on or not.
Tom Cruise is here on podcast right now going, that fucker would kill him.
Hey, you know, Tom Cruise, I'm one of the few guys that doesn't give a fuck how weird you are. I will go see all your movies. I just saw Jack Reacher 2, and I'm sure people bash him to death.
Oh, I watched it.
Tom Cruise makes good movies, man.
Yeah,
Bottom
that movie was
line,
good.
Cruise makes good movies.
Yeah.
So until he starts making bad movies, you know, I'm not going to give him shit.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, Scientology's whack as fuck, but America is the place where you get to choose to have a whack as fuck religion.
Now,
if you want
is
it,
he
you know?
no longer in Scientology?
Oh, no, he is. He's the king fucking man.
See, I thought there was some
I
kind
thought
of...
John Travolta left.
Travolta's leaving, but there's also a lot of theories that that's fake, and they were saying that the approach of Scientology right now is to do that, is to appear as though they're going to fall apart, so they get out of the press and out of the public eye, and just go underground. You know what I mean? Just go underground. Just stay out of the press and just keep building how they're doing it. It's basically what all those fucking weirdos with Warren Jeffs have done. You know, he went to jail, and now he gives all his commands through a jail phone.
I've seen that documentary, whatever it is, about them, and it just... I don't know, man. Are you like this when you watch this thinking,
wow,
why would anybody have ever joined this? I don't understand.
The thing is that they pointed that out, though. No one joins. They're born into it. That's how that works. That's why you're talking about Warren Jeffs on FLDS or Scientology?
Scientology.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Don't get that at all. I thought you meant the FLDS. No, that FLDS, that's why they urge fathers to have 30 kids and shit, because they're all born into it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, the Scientology, I don't understand. I don't fucking get it. And none of it. It's so weird.
Not even, listen, anybody can make a criticism about, Christianity, and you believe in a God, man, and those clouds, that, whatever, right? But when you come right down to it, it's more so just the functionality of what they were doing. If the documentary is truthful,
Here's the thing. Yes, you're right. If someone came up to me and said, "You don't think it's weird that Jonah believed, he believed in a whale for," I would go, "Of course, that's all stupid. Yeah, whack. You don't think it's weird that Jesus was resurrected?" Absolutely, it all sounds great. All of
metaphors.
These, right. That's the difference. All of these are like metaphors for basically this list of 10 things that you should do to be a pretty decent person. That's why, for the most part, I give Christianity and Christians a pass. I get it. You know what I mean? I try to live by those 10 things.
Yeah.
If you look at the 10 Commandments, they're pretty basic. Don't fuck people over. Don't kill people. Don't steal their shit. Don't fuck your neighbor's wife. You know what I mean? Like, it's like all basic stuff.
I think Christianity, religion in general, is essential to where we are today.
Well, no. The thing is, what it does provide. I used to be so anti-religious when I was younger, and I saw through Laura, kind of her family. I kind of saw the positives that come with. They're devout old school Roman Catholic, which I got all kinds of problems with Catholicism in general. But what I saw is that more than anything else, it's just fabric, man. It's fabric between their family, and they're fucking ironclad together. They love each other. It's a forced conversation when it's around. They all have something common to talk about. It forces them to be involved with their community, which is a good thing. Even if it's just in knowledge of what's going on, it stops you from being a recluse. You know what I mean? And just kind of falling into a corner and living in your own fucking world, which is real easy. It's real easy to just detach from the world and unplug. Yeah. So I see the benefits of religion. Sure, absolutely.
It's like a visible consciousness, really, where people can sit there and point. And if you're doing something that's really shady in the community and you go to church, you're gonna have to look at all the people you're screwing over every Sunday.
Sure. Like even if you went to the confession booth, right, and you didn't confess all your sins, the point is you thought about them. You know what I mean? It's like there's processes like that you think about them, And there is something, when you ask somebody to sit down and think about living good, you will probably be pretty hard on yourself. You will probably leave that place wanting to make positive change.
Yeah, just that thought puts it into the world.
Right. 95% of religion is a good thing. It's the separatist part of it that's the bad thing, and that's the human part of it, dude. I would say, like, spirituality is divine.
Yeah.
Religion's man-made. We all feel something connects us to all this, That's just innate. And no matter where you live on the planet, no matter where you were born, no matter where was every fucking culture in the world is born with that innate feeling that there's something greater they're connected to. Whether it be I, Mother Earth, or the universe, the stars, whatever, So, yeah, I think what's weird about Scientology, now this is my point in saying this, is there's none of that. Like, there's no, Scientology is it's elitist, it's separatist. You have the answers. You have the power. Only you can fix this.
Aren't all humans gods in Scientology?
They can become gods. That's the whole thing about their goal is to become clear, and that's clear of this weird, I forget how it's pronounced, it's like Letheans or something in your body, and every time you sin or fuck something up, more of these things are in your body, and the only way to get them removed is to do what they call an audit, and they audit your life, which they can call it whenever they want. You have a person above you, and you got levels, like level 8, level 9. I'm cleared to level 7, I'm cleared to level 6, and you get to a certain point until you're clear, right?
See, well,
you know what they believe? The guy right now that is cleansing planet Earth to fix it, Tom Cruise. He is the head of that
really?
church. Yes, he's that deep in it.
Did not know that.
See, yes. I thought I saw some debate about that, whether or not he was getting out or something.
Like, he's that deep into it. And the girl that was just on Bill Maher talked about it. Bill Maher was hilarious. He goes, Tom Cruise is going to clean the earth and save the earth. he can't even make Jack Reacher a hit. And she goes, well, what they would argue is that the powers that be are against him, and they made Jack Reacher this way. But he's so smart, he's already has his counter. His counter's coming, it's already in play. You know what I mean? It's just whack shit.
I would think everybody should have, I would think, I get this little indicator that starts going off right when you said things like, oh, they make you then get together and have to cleanse your body and you have to go through our levels.
And you know what the weird thing is, too?
Hair stands up. No, that ain't cool.
The weird thing is, they were saying that the auditor, and for those of you out there listening, please comment if I'm incorrect on this, but from what I understood it, is the auditor will decide on his own, like how many lithians or ethan or whatever these fucking things are that's supposed to be in your body. He'll decide when he sees you how much you need to release. Now, and supposedly they have this power because they're another level above you, so they know what you're up to. And they will sit you down and they will decide certain things that you've done that you got to admit to even if you haven't. And almost all of them at some point, this is another weird thing, at some point they will all be forced to say they were sexually abused by their parents. That's a big, big thing because they also all have to say bye-bye to their parents. That's a big thing, too.
You can't talk to your parents anymore?
No, they will have to dismiss their parents. Yes.
What?
Yeah, their parents. Wow. Unless they're a part of the church, and then there's a process. If their parents are in the church, then there's a process in which they can be cleansed together,
right.
And the parents have to admit they did it.
How is this not a cult?
It is a cult.
It's a total fucking cult. No, it's looking. Yeah, so that's like one of the first things. So this girl's is like, no, I was never raped, and they're like, okay, bring her in, and they make her. This girl's like talking about they made her feel bad. They're just like, I can't believe you just won't do this. You'll hang on to that rape rather than let it go. And the girls are sitting there going, I was never raped. Gee, it's that important to you.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, the girl's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's whack, dude. It's so fucking whack.
You know, so it might be completely separate too, but when Tom Cruise kind of went off about, I kind of agree with him a lot on pharmaceutical type things and people always looking at being the answer to everybody's problem. Right. And
But what he was saying at that time was so fucking out of line in the context of what he was saying. I understood it. What he's saying is, and he's right, and we would agree, right? Stop looking to medicine first. Right? A lot of times the answer is right in your hands, your actions, your mind. Yeah, but go ahead, go on.
Yeah, well, see, I think he got led into making that judgment. From my memory, he had said something like he didn't agree, and that you don't, and Matt Lauer is putting him on point, saying you don't agree that she should take whatever medicine it was, right? And he goes, no. He goes, no, all that stuff, no. I mean, what? So you're saying your opinion is better than a doctor's on whatever, right?
And he pretty much said yes.
And it's true, though. Yeah. I mean, it's true, though. That I would get to the point to realize it's the same thing with, like, a lot of painkillers and stuff, right? People say...
But this is a very different thing, though. If with the painkiller thing, I would say yes, because OxyContin didn't exist until 97, so that's a brand new thing. She was on Prozac, which is an age-old thing that's been, age-old.
Psychiatry has been... If you look into there are people that go around on tours, psychiatry tours, their whole point is this is a manufactured specialty, right? It's like psychology, but it's a way for us to give you drugs, and they go through all these different types of drugs that they could sell. Of
course, I'm not saying the drug game isn't a racket. Of course it is, but like low levels of Prozac, which is what she was on. I mean, there's been an extensive amount of research on proper ways. Remember, most of these drugs you're talking about, even opiates, if taken as prescribed, will be fine.
Yeah.
No one takes them as prescribed, and doctors keep refilling them. That's the problem. Anything like in moderation as prescribed will work.
Well, it's more so that what gets suspicious is when they're trying to blackball things like Kratom out of the market at the same time when they're promoting things that are so addictive. So
what Matt Lauer was saying, the only reason I know a lot about this specifically is because I had just watched Clear right at the time, and I went back and studied that Matt Lauer thing and watched that and read Matt Lauer's interviews about it, a follow-up interview with Tom Cruise about it. And what Matt Lauer was saying is, listen, have you seen her medical records? No. Spoken to her doctors? No. She's your friend, though. Yes, that's why I have a right to say that. Right, but shouldn't you, before you like say it publicly, if she's your friend, console with her about what you're saying? This could be harmful. It could hurt her. It could piss her off. And he's just like saying, I don't need to. I know her situation. And he's saying he knows her situation because he's fucking Scientologist and I know shit. I'm above shit. Like, in this room, I really know what's going on. I mean, he said in this Scientology video where he was like, it's kind of weird driving by a car wreck. You look out and you see someone's injured, someone's hurt. This is happening, this, and you're the only one with the answer. You're the only one that really knows what's going on. That's how he was looking at Brooke Shields. Like, I really know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's when he finally asked him. He just basically said, do you, so you have more of an opinion than a doctor? And Cruz pretty much said, yes, I do.
Sometimes I wonder,
which is asinine.
I can see whether or not, like, if the statements might be overblown. I get sometimes what he was saying in the sense, like, it seems like a lot of people will... Okay, there's a movie out called The Seven or something like that, and it's about 7 people that witnessed a murder and did nothing about it, right?
I've seen it.
The
documentary.
Is it called The Seven?
In New York?
In
Hyde Park?
I haven't seen it, but...
Yeah. It's in Hyde Park, yeah.
But my point being that I can see it happening all the time. I don't know how many times in life I've seen, and nobody will do anything about it. It's like,
well, you see why when you watch the movie. Like, each person, some of them didn't know that's what's going on. They didn't really know that was going on.
It was the newspapers who made that story about all these people saw this crime. Really, there was only one. There was one person that could have done something about it, and that was the guy who, at the end when she was finally being killed, and there was like another person who maybe could have. But it's... You'd
still be asking a lot of that person to do it, too.
Yeah.
When you broke it down, basically, that's... Yeah. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
7 people did... They made it sound like 7 people stood against the wall and watched the girl get...
Bystander effect.
Yeah, right. That's what they made it sound like. But that wasn't ultimately the case. But anyways, yeah. I don't know how we got on that. How did we get on this Scientology? I don't know. We're fucking off and running, though.
Religion... gosh...
I don't know. This is a roundabout way. Having said that, I have something really awesome to talk about, Steve. I don't mean to precursor your bizarro news that you're going to give us, as you always do, when you roll out your bizarre, mysterious, and unexplained events going on outside the world. But I came across a story in an event that really, really freaked me out. Are you guys familiar with the story of Elisa Lam at all?
No.
Okay, this is a story...
You said it has to do with Los Angeles?
Yeah, Elisa Lam. There's a Hotel Cecil, which is right up here in Hollywood. So this girl's a Canadian visitor. She basically checks into this hotel with her group of... She's traveling alone. And all they find out is they get this... She disappears the next day, and no one can find out where she went. The group that she was with, one of those sign-up groups that you like a tourist group. You know what I mean? So all they find is this footage the next day of her, okay? And just watch how kind of weird this is. So this is her in the elevator.
Was she throwing up?
No, she's... Well, look, there's nobody there, by the way. There's no one talking to her, nothing.
This gonna pop up or something?
No. Let's put it here. So she just jumped around like somebody was talking to her.
And then she's hiding.
Yeah, and then she's hiding like someone's there.
Weird.
Whoa. Oh, this is going to get weirder. This is one of the creepiest stories I've seen in a long time. Now she's looking around the corner, right? Someone's just like, maybe she's talking to somebody. Nope, she's trepidly looking, see? Isn't that weird?
Whoa.
Yeah.
She like went...
Yeah.
She's sober?
We'll get to it. She's just standing outside the door. She's just hitting a bunch of buttons. Every button on there she's hitting. See it?
Wow.
Whoa.
All right, just keep watching. Over and over again, hitting every button.
It's like she's tripped out or something.
Yeah.
Like if you're on acid or mushrooms, I don't...
What is she doing? Look at her. What is that? Almost looks like she's talking to somebody, right?
Yeah, I'm getting chills. It's kind of creepy.
It's way creepy. They can confirm she was not talking. There was nobody there.
Wow, it's pretty scary. This is really scary.
Yeah, no, it's good. This is as creepy and as weird as anything that I've seen. Hold on a second. 18 days later, they find her naked body inside the water source barrel that holds all the water that everybody showers and drinks.
Whoa.
Okay, you see how it's sealed and all this stuff too? They have no idea how she got in there. It was also for her to get up there, she'd have to climb outside the building on this long, crazy pole, and then she'd have to have some 10-foot ladder to scale. They started having issues with the water. Wow. Obviously, her dead, rotting corpse is in there. So, I mean, that is like sealed off, all stuff. Like, literally, the cops, the people who put this together, everybody came out and was like, was this a joke? Like, would someone, unbolt and unweld the top of it? How'd she get in there?
So, when she was in the elevator and she was pressing the buttons, why wasn't the door closing, though?
I don't know.
Because to me, you would start doing that if you wanted to close and you wanted to go.
Yeah, maybe something was standing in between that doorway telling her to...
Well, here's the thing.
Wow.
Toxicology revealed nothing in her system. Nothing. Wow. No drugs. Especially psychedelics. The psychedelics store up in your spinal column, and they stay for 90 days. Like any type of psychedelic, you do nothing. Nothing. No alcohol, no drugs, not a thing. Before this moment, not 1 ounce of history of psychiatric anything. Everybody that saw her and met her and knew her on the tour that she was on, normal girl, no issues whatsoever. It's like MK Ultra shit again, or something like that. Like, what happened? Like, what is going on? How did she get in there? They don't know. Still unsolved to this day. Complete mystery. Not one clue solved. Nothing. And they have put all their time, energy, and effort into figuring this out. This reminds me of the infield poltergeist. What was happening on infield poltergeist, one thing that was really crazy is the youngest daughter was seeing people that were there that were speaking to her. No one else could see it. And one reported event that is totally bizarre is the one child was in the living room and she screamed when she saw this figure she claimed. The lights went out and they got the power turned back on and they were like, holy shit, where'd she go? And they surveyed the entire house and they found her inside back behind the furnace room jammed in there, and it was up off the floor 4 feet back. She couldn't have physically crawled back to where she was. They had to remove the furnace to take her out, so they thought it was apportation, like something vanished there and then put her somewhere.
I mean, obviously the police are treating this as a homicide.
Homicide, but absolute mystery. They don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, no, they have nothing. Yeah, they're treating it as a homicide. They said not a suicide because they have nothing to imply she was suicidal.
Oh, no, obviously, from the video, it looks like she's talking to somebody, but nobody's there or nobody...
And what it was...
When you said they can confirm there's nobody there...
They have a second long-haul video. Yes, they have a second long-haul video to confirm that there was nobody there she was talking to. Yeah. They also don't know why the elevator didn't close like that. They don't know why.
That's bizarre.
Especially when she starts going like this and all that stuff. I mean, and when she's like going in the beginning, you know what I mean? It looks like she's looking, is there a ghost? Is something following me? What is it?
Right.
But the crazy thing is they don't know how she got there. They've not been able to recreate it. Like, get to the spot or get the body in there. They're saying the get the body in there part is impossible.
You mean
get her body physically inside the metal sealed off water tank? There's impossible. Like,
yeah, you don't want people messing with the water supplies.
No, right? No, it has to be right. So it can't be tampered with.
Yeah,
it's got to be just tamper proof. So I mean, they're like literally going like, there's no way. Like, even if someone could have got it open, I mean, those things are designed. Alarms go off, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Water would bust, break, all this stuff. Like, they have no clue. Like, we have no clue.
Wow,
no clue.
Yeah.
She just shows up in there, and they start figuring out because people are starting to get sick from the water, and the water's smelling weird and shit. So finally, they're like, "Well, go. I guess check the tanks."
That's honestly probably one of the more fascinating things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
honestly.
What I was thinking is we should do a live Paramerican Radio at the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can go there. dude, like I would love to do a
Inside the elevator.
well, I'd love to check it all out, but I'd love to do an EVP session and ask her, point us the right way. You know what I mean? Like, what are we missing? What are we doing? And just, I'm not saying do a full-on ghost hunt. I'm just saying, let's go there. Let's see if we can't devise a way that you can, to explain it. Let's see if we can't devise a way that you can physically get there. But let's also give it some paranormal love, too. I'm saying do an EVP session. See what she says.
Jeez.
Maybe we get some shit back that gives us some crazy stuff. But if you guys are down with doing that, I'm down.
Yeah,
that's a crazy enough case. I'm down.
I want to look more into her personal history.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, man. I've always been fascinated with trying to interview like a serial killer or something, just to try to get in their brain to figure out at what point happened that would have made you do all this, or what, And in this situation, you're looking at her going, so if there is no mental illness, if there is no, then her family members got to know her pretty well and everything, right? I mean, it's
documentary worthy.
Yeah. Huh?
It's documentary worthy, I think.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's a really, really crazy freaking story. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. So, well, right on, Steve. Let me know what you got, dude. What's going on in the rabbit hole? Roll it out to me.
That's gonna be tough to follow.
It's a tough one to beat. Did I start it out too good? Well, give me your best one to start with. Let's get it going.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this one's interesting. So scientists in the Philippines have identified a huge carcass that was washed up on a beach in, excuse me if I say this wrong, Cagdanao in the Dingat Islands. It's a 20-foot long body, which is covered with white hair. Look at this. Just look at this thing.
What the
That's
fuck?
one. Yeah, let me show you this other one. And then, here's it.
I thought maybe this would be like a Megalodon story.
20 feet.
It looks like a dead thing from
Never-ending story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what a lot of people were joking around about.
Yeah, you seen this?
Yeah, they can't figure it out.
It does look like a never-ending story thing.
Yeah, it looks like that thing died flying around. What is it a mammal? I mean, is it they don't know what it is? Does it have?
They just don't know.
Well, obviously they would have done it like.
Well, I mean, does it have flesh? Does it have is it is that an old curtain that I'm looking at that's rolled up, or is that what I mean, or is that an animal?
Okay, so it has a tail that's missing, and yeah, I mean they don't talk about what it's made out of. They just say
but they believe it's an animal, obviously. There's a tail that's missing. Then.
Right. Exactly.
Huh.
Yeah.
You should mark that and see some kind of follow that story and keep following it and just see what you know what I mean. It's just too early, you know what I mean,
right.
to like give a thought, you know. I mean, but mark that page in that story and just keep following, Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, you get more info on it, let us know.
Yeah, do a follow.
That's fucking whack.
That's almost like a conversation on fake news, though. You know what I mean? Like that's how. I notice this, like, as we debate and we ask certain questions that your mind would logically go to, you know what I mean? And if there are no answers to those questions, you would think, well, that's odd, you know?
Yeah.
But
I mean, the ocean is so big, you know, it could just be some new animal that has a hair.
I was going to say, here's another one that's similar to this. This is why I was asking about it. That reminds me of that. Look at this fucking thing.
But what's the purpose of having
this
hair?
This
in the
thing
ocean?
just broke too. It's some kind of mammal. Hair on it too, but it has like.
Oh wow!
Those are not flowers. Those are like little snail-like shells off of it that move and shit. Yeah, and this happened in New Zealand. It just showed up.
That is an animal?
That is some kind of weird animal. Yes.
What the?
Yeah, it just showed up on the shore. Yeah. Yeah, scientists have been out trying to figure out what it is. Everybody, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
You know, the freaky part, there is all kinds of stuff underneath the sea that we've never seen before, you know? When I say we, I mean most people, right? Because we don't hang out down there. I'm sometimes amazed just when they show you stuff that everybody or most scientists know about, but I've never personally seen, which you think, wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
There's something like that, you know?
Well, like the giant squid, that's been rumored for so long, and they, like, you know, just in the past, like, what, 5-10 years, finally, you know, found a live sample, have more pictures, but having an animal that large in the ocean, you would think that it would be more common.
Well, there's new footage of Megalodon, which is like the 35-foot plus shark that's prehistoric. They were just pulling somebody out of the water, and the footage was shot by what do they call them, lifeguards, and they were pulling somebody out of the water, and as they did it, a big fucking Megalodon. Here, I'll show you the footage. It's crazy. Megalodon, Coast Guard. Yeah, here it is. Okay, here it is. As they were pulling him out, you'll see its back and fin go swimming by, and it's like, that's a big son of a bitch. Whoosh, see it?
Oh.
Look how big it is. Yeah.
Oh, man.
See its tail there?
Yeah.
That's how fucking huge that's a shark.
That is huge.
That's a shark fin.
Yeah. You know what else it could be? It could be all like the radiation from all this nuclear waste and
a
whatever.
lot of stuff. But the thing is, the Megalodon has been seen for hundreds of years by captains on long sea voyages, and they've said it didn't die with the rest of the dinosaurs, because it's prehistoric. They're like, it survived. And they said the only things that could have survived were sea animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense that the Megalodon survived.
Yeah.
And so now there's footage of this is the first believed to be authentic Megalodon footage ever captured. All right, Steve, what else you got for us? Give me one more.
All right. There are thousands of dead and dying bees washing up on a popular beach in southern Florida, and nobody could figure out why.
Bees are just, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know anything about the world? Einstein called it, when the bees are dead, give it 2 weeks and we'll be dead right after. Look, there's
end times.
I call this shit with the blood red sky with the animal die-offs. That started at an alarming rate about 2008, 2009. Just from doing my research on the blood red sky, there was little die-offs here, but they were primarily little tiny bits of birds, 100 or less reported. Fish in the like 300 to 400, maybe 1,000 area. Around the end of 2010, going into 2011, the scientists around the world started freaking out because shit started jumping into warp drive. Like in Denmark, having a fish kill off of like 50,000 fish dead. Like, whoa. And like I said, birds falling out of the sky at 10,000 a pop. But it started, I was just reading recently, it's been getting worse. Now they're finding really weird groups of animals that should not be having kill-offs. I don't know why. Like out of the blue, and this was within the last 6 months, like 260 reindeer just dropped dead. Like, why the fuck are reindeer dropping dead? In Brazil, you might have seen this by just searching for news. They just had a massive, I'm talking 600 fucking whales beach themselves in New Zealand. Sorry, not in New Zealand. And just died. I mean, they didn't know why. You should see the photos of it. It's crazy. Whales, dude, that are just swimming right up full speed as fast as they can, beaching themselves, and then going fucking ape shit to get back in the water and can't do it, and they don't know why. They're interviewing the biologists, and they're going, we don't know.
Yeah.
They're like basically because you know how they say dolphins are like pretty much in a lot of ways smarter than humans. Dolphins use 19% of their brain. They figured it out way higher than us. We don't understand dolphin sonar. It's so far beyond anything.
Yeah, they use like complex math.
Right. We don't even get it. Right. How can a child of a dolphin in New England hear its child in Australia, and they can communicate that far away? And you're like, what the fuck? They're like, that has to be telepathic, They just don't get it. So when the dolphins started, like, basically beaching themselves like that, pretty much the biologists were like, this has to be considered a form of suicide.
Well, dolphins do commit suicide. They would go to the bottom and let all their air out.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, when they're... there's several stories about, dolphins that they took from captivity and brought him in.
They do it for stress. When they're super stressed, they'll do it. Right. But the thing is, what they've never done on record before is intentionally beach themselves to die.
Yeah. Aren't dolphins are, besides humans, they're the only species that commit suicide? Or is it elephants and dolphins?
I thought there was one more.
Yeah, I think
there was
elephants.
3. Yeah, there's another one that'll do it. Yeah, but it'll do it. It'll do it when impending sickness is coming on.
You know, to me,
when it's sick, and it'll kill itself before it lets itself die slowly.
Because you'll be slowing down the pack.
All I know is that shit ain't good. I mean, when bees start dropping dead like that, and they're just the next species on the list of how many fucking things that are dying.
But you see why this is bizarre, though. Bees don't fly over the ocean. Why are they washing up from the ocean?
That is really weird.
That's the weird thing.
Really weird.
And a bee expert, he has a couple ideas of maybe what it could be. They say
out there.
Well,
pollinating something? I don't know. What the fuck?
Pollinating seaweed?
I don't know. What the fuck?
No, he said the cause could be anything from a nearby pesticide spraying, forcing them to the water to get away from it, to a swarm flying overhead that became exhausted and flew into the water, which is, I think,
Bees are tired.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
Well, see, that happens all the time, though. The pesticides being sprayed and stuff.
Pesticides happens.
Yeah.
But they fly towards the ocean. Why don't they fly towards, like, other flowers and, somewhere else?
Right. And look, if this happened all the time, this wouldn't be a story. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is a story because this doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's a mystery. So, listen, period. We are animals, right? We're smarter ones. We got posable thumbs, you know what I mean? We can make fucking iPads, We're animals. When all the animals start dying around you, you fall somewhere on that list, you know what I mean? Like, get scared, You're an animal. They all start dying. Yeah, I just think we're in a fucking crazy-ass time. Crazy-ass time. And with that, we are going to take a break, everybody.
Paramerican Radio will be right back after this commercial break with even more dope-ass shit.
In 1984, a Siberian geological group of scientists began drilling a well into the grounds of Russia's Kola Peninsula. After digging nearly 9 miles deep, the drill bit began to spin wildly out of control, as though it had entered a hollow region in the Earth's crust. After retrieving the bit, scientists lowered a temperature gauge and an audio recorder into the bottom of the well. Although the estimated temperature of gases in the ground at 9 miles were thought to be 120 degrees, scientists were shocked that the gauge returned a reading in excess of 2,000 degrees. But nothing could have prepared them for the sounds returned by the audio recorder.
Chad Kalich's Stairway to Hell documentary, along with 15 additional Kalich documentaries, are all available on DVD right now at HHTelevision.com.
We are back with more Paramerican Radio. Steve, what is going on in the world of current events? No weird shit, just regular stuff. But sometimes regular stuff, it seems weirder than the weird shit, though, doesn't it?
I've said this so many times. I just cannot differentiate current events between bizarre.
Yeah, in our life and times right now, it's kind of hard sometimes, isn't it? Anyways, what's going on, man? Fill me in.
Yeah. So this bit of unfortunate news probably hits closer towards home to Justin because Justin worked on Twister, but Bill Paxton unfortunately passed away. They didn't say exactly from what, but it was from a complication of a surgery that he had.
Well, that just sucks.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen Training Day, the series. Have you yet?
No.
He died.
They shot.
I heard he killed.
That's what he said.
No, they only shot midway through it.
I thought it just said something. I just watched the last episode or something like that. Maybe they did a mid-season finale. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen it. I've just heard he owns in it. Like, he is awesome in it. Yeah, I've been dying to watch it. It's on my, like, radar.
You know, on Twister, he was the first one I ran into. I remember going to set thinking, I wonder if I'm going to run into any celebrities. And I was walking with my contracts. I had to get the people to sign for their leases, you know, for their... So I was looking for who those people are, and all of a sudden, boom, I run into this dude, sweaty chest, and he's like, hey! And it's like, and you know, it takes a fraction of an instant for you to recognize somebody when you've seen them on a camera, but you haven't seen them in person. So then I'm thinking, wait a minute, that looks like that was Bill Paxton, right?
Yeah.
So then when I started working on set more and more, he would always just pick up a football and go, hey, come on. We go over and just start throwing football back and forth. It was his way of relaxing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, and we've talked about it before in detail. If you haven't seen that episode, Twister, Steven Spielberg's film Twister, came to Iowa, and this is a big reason why I initially called Justin. One of many reasons, but Justin found a way to get on set and went up to Chain, and I knew Justin had seen a film set. I knew he had seen what it looks like to make a movie, at least, and that was a big fucking deal at that time to work on that film. So, that's a crazy story. You know, I've never met, out of all the, living out here for as long as I have, out of all the celebrities I've ran into and met or know, I've never ran into him ever. He is the one guy, I will say this, I know multiple people who know him. I'm not saying this because he passed away, I'm being dead serious. Every time his name has come up, whoever knew him, that was in my company at that time, would all say the same thing. Fucking awesome guy. Bill's a good guy. You know, everyone said that, so...
Is that the vibe you got from him, Justin?
You know, he was just always... So Bill Paxton, Weird Science, you know how he's like... Hey, that's how he was acting a lot of the time. And obviously he's not that shallow because he's written and directed, films.
Let me point out, you also met him, many years ago. He's grown up since then, you know what I mean? It was like, that was 20 years ago, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been 40-something at the time, though.
20 years ago? How long was he today?
61, yeah.
He was that old?
That's not that old.
In my mind, I did not see Bill Paxton at 60. For some reason, I was thinking Bill Paxton was like closer, mid-40s, closer to 50. Just in my brain, I guess. Wow. Because as Chet, he looked young. You watch that Weird Science? Yeah. He's got a little tiny frame, and he's all weird. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, wow. So, he'd have been 40 years old back then. You're right. Wow. So, he'd have been a man. He wouldn't have changed much from there to then.
He was just very light-spirited. He liked having fun. That was the way I would say it most of the way. Every time I was around him, that's what he was acting like.
Well, look, to him, to his family, and let's not forget anybody else's family who's lost someone they love tonight. We've all... I believe. Have you ever lost someone close in your family? Are you close to yet? Or are you still young? But you have. Have you, Holstein?
Sure. Yeah.
I think we all been through that pain, man. To the family out there, the Paxton family, and like I said, anybody else who's lost someone, the sun will come up tomorrow, man. Hang in there.
Part of life, man.
Yeah, it'll never get better. You'll just learn to live with it. And you just learn to live with it.
Yeah. I would like to know the circumstances, though, not because I know everybody's always very cautious because they don't want it to look like, something bad, so they just respect our privacy, and it was a complication. Yeah. The thing is, they said that about Prince, and people were starting to wonder, was he... No, Prince didn't do drugs. He was not a drug doer. You're either a good guy or you're a bad guy in people's minds, right? And it's you can see, you don't understand, man, being that dude... separated from society.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
Prince specifically.
We've talked this a million times.
Yeah.
When I hear people say that all the time, I don't understand how, this celebrity could have all this and develop a drug habit. I don't understand how he fucking couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier.
You've never...
Do you remember what...
You've never sniffed this side of life, you know what I mean? Or that side of life.
Yeah.
And, especially when you have time to kill, money to burn... and people that are just going to, live to tell you yes. The strongest person in the world to battle, and everybody knows this, is yourself.
Yeah.
you want something and it's bad for you, you know.
Well, do you remember in that Amy Winehouse documentary
Yeah,
when
of course.
she was clean, she
So
got off the
fucking
stage.
boring.
Yeah, she got off the stage of the Grammys and told her best friend. She said,
She just won, and said, "This is so fucking boring."
"Yeah, she said life is just boring now."
You know, that was a great part of that movie in the Johnny Depp movie.
Blow.
No, the one where he's super rich that just came out, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
He says it too.
Johnny Depp.
Or not Johnny Depp, I'm sorry, Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
When he's at his house, you know, Jonah Hill's like, so you're clean now, you know, like drinking non-alcoholic beer. He's like, you want to snort some baking soda? He's like, no. He's like, what's life like now? What's that like? And he says it too. It's just so fucking boring. You know, and you know, I could see that. The thing I always said is the only way to beat the high, you got to find something you love more. And that's a fact.
Dude, that reminds me of the Owning Dan Mahoney, you know, where he goes in that moment when he's finally busted and that psychologist is asking questions going, so like on a scale of 1 to 10, how did it feel? Like, 10. What about now? 2. 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah.
Well, you have to ask yourself, could you live the rest of your life as a 2? And he's like, yeah, I think so. Kind of like
Owning Mahoney audience. It was a film by Phil Hoffman.
Yeah. Another dude on Twister.
Yeah, for Phil Hoffman. It was a true story. He played an accountant that was stealing money and going to the casino and making money. I mean, ended up making like $20-some million. It was all. Yeah, he was a mathematician basically and figured shit out. You know. But yeah, the point is you just got to find something that you love more than the high. And for a lot of people, that high feels real good. And some people just don't find something they love more, you know? And that's unfortunate when that happens. Amy Winehouse was one of those. She didn't find anything else
story.
that she... That's what that documentary says.
Yeah.
She loved the high more than anything else. And that... painful in that, especially because she was just such a gifted, God-selected soul. I mean, like... Yeah. That voice, that style, that throwback, that was just so mind-blowing. So, anyways, what else you got for us, man? Bill Paxton, you're a legend to his family. Nothing but love. Moving on, man.
All right, so this next one is 3 local women in Minnesota. They organized a fundraiser to basically to promote female solidarity. Uh-huh. And they set it up with a tattoo parlor to say anyone that wanted to come, any woman that wanted to come and get a tattoo that says, "Nevertheless, she persisted." They would do it for $75. And so many people showed up that they had to push people away. And the reason that they're doing this was because, I don't know if you guys remember when Senator Mitch McConnell, what she said about Elizabeth
Warren.
Yeah. That quote came from McConnell about Warren, but when she was silenced on the Senate floor, that's where the quote came from.
She persisted.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because everything today is just getting more intense, and now you're putting a permanent thing on your body. Yeah. You know, female solidarity is very important, but what if in 30 years the roles switch, and now...
Yeah, right.
You know, and you have this thing forever on your body. Well, of course, there's tattoo removal, but that's like it's an intense protest.
It is, but the same thing can be said. You're filled with tattoos. I'm filled with tattoos. What we like about them isn't even necessarily what we feel today. That we think of how we felt when we got them. You know what I mean? They're a reminder of something that mattered to you, whether you change the way you feel about it or not. You know what I mean? It's like. You know, I don't, but if I had a tattoo of my old band, 35-Inch Mutter, I would love it just as much today. Even though it's not a part of my life anymore, it's not what I did, it represents something. I think to most of these people, it just represented something. But I think it's interesting that a politician's words are becoming...
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The odd part is it's not even really a feminist thing the way it was used. She was basically talking against she was giving up and giving her reasons of why I think it was Jeff Sessions, who she didn't think he should be getting this role in office. Just because he'd been a known racist, right. Martin Luther King's wife had talked out against him and things and she was just stating all these things on the record. And there was some kind of a loophole that they were using against her because there's something where you can't badmouth a standing senator, just to defame them. So they use that to silence her, basically, through the nope, I approve it, and she had to be quiet,
Right, yeah. But what's interesting is just that it's a tattoo, you know what I mean? That you wouldn't pick some other symbol or something.
Yeah.
Dare I say it might be the first words of like a non-presidential candidate that wound up being a tattoo, you know what I mean, and of a politician.
Yeah.
To me, that's what's weird about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they could have done like face painting or stuff like that, but
I could have just picked some kind of symbolism. Obviously there's symbolism for solidarity. For feminism. You know what I mean? It's odd that they would just choose a sentence that a man said, you know what I mean? Nevertheless, she persisted,
Yeah.
They're men's words.
Yeah.
It's men's words. You know what I mean? It's like...
Right.
And it's also men's words that, to some degree, do relate to a degree of power that he had, you know what I mean? But I also see what they're saying is, no, she persisted, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
The whole thing's weird, yeah.
It's bizarre.
It is
current
bizarre.
events.
It is bizarre. Yeah. It could have won the other one, right? Exactly. What else we got?
Yeah. So this last one, I wanted to choose something a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
So I just thought this was great, but Australian man became a multi-millionaire accidentally, and I mean it's a bit of a stretch, saying accidentally, but he picked winning numbers. And usually when you get lottery tickets, you don't just get one. So he got two, and he thought he put different numbers, but he accidentally put the same number. So he found out he won like $1 million or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he was like ecstatic, and he's like, you know what? Just for the fuck of it, I want to see what my other numbers were.
Yeah.
And he looked at the ticket and it was the same numbers. And he's like, what? How is this possible? So he accidentally became a multimillionaire. And my favorite thing was they asked him, so like, what are you going to do now? And he said that he's going to buy a Ferrari and travel the world, see the 7 wonders. And that is exactly what I would do if I won the lottery.
Yeah, no shit. So he won the lottery twice? He had 2 winning tickets?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to split it or anything because he won it anyways with one ticket. But that's crazy.
He's getting $2 million untaxed. I guess in Australia they don't tax.
So the second one he gets us another $1 million?
Yeah.
So how does that lottery work then?
It must be different than the States because it also said that he's getting $2 million untaxed.
Wow.
In the U.S. you get
ton
of tax,
which
is super ironic. The U.S. That was like one of the biggest things that we were like born on is because we didn't want to pay taxes anymore.
Right. That's crazy. Wow. That's a crazy story. I don't know what else to say to that story other than good on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to share something that was like lighthearted.
Only $2 million though. I mean, we win lotteries here. It's like $200 million or
but that's just like the Powerball.
Here's the thing. Like when people say, $1 million isn't what it used to be. That's absolutely fucking true. Like it's absolutely not. But if you had a coal mill, right? In my backpack, I got $1 million fucking dollars.
Right.
If you wanted to like not really do much with yourself, but go to live in Manville, Texas, Paris, Tennessee, bumfuck Egypt, Iowa, right? And you could absolutely buy a nice little house, decent little car. You can furnish and pimp that motherfucker out on the inside. Put that money in, throw the entrance in, and in that little area, if you didn't really do much, you could live like a king the rest of your life. You could, so whenever people say like $1 million isn't a lot, don't kid yourself. It's a fuckload of money. It's still a lot. It's just not a lot I think for people who have really big aspirations, it's not. I don't think it.
Well,
because you can't accomplish your dreams are so much more than that million. You know what I mean? But I also think that people who have big dreamers, I don't think they have a dollar amount they chase. They chase success.
Right. Well,
you know what I mean?
That's why. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but a lot of lottery winners end up bankrupt.
Completely done.
It's because you get used to a certain lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah, you get used to a certain lifestyle, and you just can't upkeep it.
That I've seen the documentary on it. But the biggest reason that 99% of them it's that much. It's not even 9 out of 10. It's 99%. The primary reason most of them go broke, can you guess, besides a frivolous lifestyle of spending too much up front and building a lifestyle that you can't now maintain, right? Because you can go buy the house, the cars, and if you don't buy it flat out, you got to make payments on it. Most of them do payments, right? But outside of my own frivolous spending, can you guess what would be the primary reason people go broke?
From family members helping people out?
Family loans that never get repaid. Family loans, and primarily it's family loans into poor business ventures.
People that aren't used to having money don't appreciate what it's like to get that kind of money and what the responsibility now and how it's increased to have to manage it and do everything. So now when they get it,
my family, when my parents, they just couldn't manage it.
When they get it, they do stupid things, and now when the money's almost all gone, they look at all the things they said, well, that was a business loan I gave to their stupid Uncle Ed.
I don't think that's the case. I think, yes, you're right. It's the case they don't know how to manage it. But I think your brain thinks money goes a lot further than it does. Right? If you think of $10,000, it's easy to think of all the things that can do and how far it could go, and you don't realize how small it really fucking is. I think when your family, say you had $1 million, Justin, and let's be real about this, say Seth showed up, and you didn't like his business deal, right? You didn't like it, and you didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
Who's Seth's your brother?
I'm sorry, just his little brother. Or it could be anybody, your best friend, whatever. And they're basically telling you, man, listen, I fucking believe in this. Now, you've been wrong about things. I could be right. This is my life. This is my dream. I am asking you, man, to fucking give me a shot. I can do this. And even if you don't think it's going to win, I'll pay you back. And he's like, it's only $100,000. And if you're the guy that just won $10 million, what's $100,000? You know what I mean? It happens really easily.
It's not apples to apples with that, meaning you picked a specific person, and with that specific person, I might have other people I'm friends with. If they came and asked me things, I wouldn't put as much stock in what they were saying. But Seth would never say anything unless he was 100% into it. And I'm talking...
and say he was. Yeah. Say he was. And you weren't. And you didn't see it. And you're like, I don't see it. There'd be a part of your brain that would still be considering...
Well, you would ruin that relationship, though. That I think that's why they do it, because...
They don't want to ruin the relationship.
In their eyes, they're like, oh, he has so much money, he can't just give me a small amount. And they kind of get pressured into it.
Did you ever see the 30 for 30 on this on ESPN? They did 30 for 30 on the fact. It was called, I think it was called Broke. 30 for 30 Broke. Like I said, out of 87% of anybody who's been a millionaire in the NFL, that high of a number has been bankrupt at least once. And you should have heard Andre Rison. This is a guy that made, $28 million. And he was like, man, he goes, let me tell you, he goes, I invested in because he's been bankrupt 3 times, and he was married to Left Eye Lopez too. How the fuck did they go broke through? And he goes, I got all kinds of investments, man. He goes, I gave my friend, I can't remember if it was $30,000 or $300,000. He goes, yeah, I invested in a snow cone business I ain't ever had one cup of ice out of. He goes, in fact, I don't even know where that brother is. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It was just Michael Vick, when I watched his reality show after he went to jail for the dog biting, his whole family, including his younger brother who's 2 years younger, it is accepted and by Mike, you're paying everybody's salaries. Like 14 members of his family. So like when he was getting drafted, like his brother in front of him, like it's accepted as like, we back in the big house, baby. Yeah. They're like, on. First thing is, his brother, a Lambo he's driving, set him out as $1 million. His brother.
Yeah.
What kind of salaries are they getting?
$1 million.
Wow.
Right. That's the understanding and complication of, how it's going to mess up people, I think, is not understanding that your success cannot be just directly given to other people's success, because it's going to mess them up and eventually, and it'll mess up your relationship.
And so when Vic got his like $120 million deal from Philadelphia, and because he had came out broke, and he took the league minimum to sign with them, right? Remember, no one wanted to give him a chance, and then he tore it the fuck up. In like 5 games, he just bang, 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 and then they gave him $140 million. He's just in the party at his house with his family. I mean, they were just like, we in the big fucking time. And the producers and directors are talking to him going, like, you could tell it's his life, his money, his choices, right? But you can tell the producers are just having such a hard time with it. And they're going, Mike, I mean, do you ever kind of like worry, like, maybe it's not a good thing that your brother does, because what do you know, man, you won't be able to play one day. What will you do? Well, that's why we have, business investments and things like that. And they're kind of going, really, like the dog park that just sent you to jail? You know what I mean? Like, where are they at? Where are the investments at? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. Having money, there's a reason why it's been a fucking curse to a lot of people. To manage money obviously is a gift, and it's something that I love learning about, and I think it's a gift. To be able to, maintain relationships and, be able to identify who's really your friend and who's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I listened to a podcast about that. It was about financial advisors to billionaires. That is their most trusted person in their life, more than their spouse, more than their family, because they don't know who to trust besides the person who's managing their money.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the world that are perfectly fine living off someone else and don't want to make something of their own. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. Fucked up. So, okay. Having said that, let's move right into movie reviews. And Manchester by the Sea. This is a warning right now to anybody listening. This is going to be a spoiler kind of review, because there is no way for me to really talk about it without talking about the crux of what the film's actually about, okay? First off, I will say this. For those of you that followed, the Southie Boys and their career, and what I mean is Ben, Matt, Casey. Matt produced this. Who's Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
And initially, the talk was that Matt Damon was going to play the character, and Matt Damon had said, because it's all their films that they direct and make, they're all in that area, New England. You know what I mean? And he was like, no, I think Matt was like, I think Casey can hit this out of the fucking park. Like, I think he's ready for this. And okay, so it's this, and the reason I bring that up is because Casey Affleck, unbelievable in this movie, like big time breakthrough, like. You're now here with your bros, if not here. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always liked him more than...
I think Casey's a better actor than Ben.
Yeah.
And I think now he's probably a better actor than Matt. I mean, he's fantastic in this, man. He really is. You can tell. And he's always kind of been their little brother. Like, they started giving him some cool roles in, like, Since the Town, like, in the last 5-6 years, you know what I mean? But before that, he always got the little bullshit roles, and no more. You can tell that from this point forward, he's not going to have to rely on his bros to get leading roles, okay? He's killer. So here's the thing. He is this, young guy living in and around Southie, Boston, the whole area, and he's got an older brother who's a good guy, and his older brother has a son, and he finds out at a young age, his older brother's around, I want to say he's around 40 years old, and he finds out he has a heart disease, really fucking bad, to the point that the doctors are giving him like 5 years. And I love the guy that plays the brother. It's Kyle Chandler. Did you ever watch Friday Night Lights? Kyle Chandler's the coach of Friday Night Lights.
I haven't seen it. No, I've seen clips.
Oh, have you seen Super 8? The movie Super 8 with the film Super 8 with
the Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's a good
Cal
film.
Chandler. That's the police officer. Yeah, so that guy's great. He's fucking great. So he plays the older brother. He gets heart disease, struck down, told that he's going to die within like 5 years. He has 5 years time left. And to see how the family deals with all this this movie is so real life. You know, like in real life when big, heavy, emotional things happen, there's not a lot of talking. There's not a lot of verbiage, you know what I mean? It's like you cope, you know? You say what you have to get by in the moment, you know? And this writer-director did a tremendous job of that. So, basically, Casey Affleck, his character, knows his brother's going to die. He's still, you know, trying to live his life, just do his thing. He's in love. Casey Affleck is. Beautiful girl that's like the fucking love of his life. Both, you know, 25 years old. Time of their life, right? He's got two beautiful daughters. Two just gorgeous, beautiful daughters. And he's at home, and he's got all his boys downstairs, partying, right? You know, they're snorting blow, a little blow here, you know, smoking weed, playing ping pong, being fucking kids, right? Being young dudes. So the wife comes down, and she's just kind of like, you know, it's fucking 2:00, you moron. Can you get these fucking monkeys out of here? You know, it's fucking 2 a.m. And he's like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So they all kind of clear out, and you know, you see he comes back upstairs, and he's kind of telling her, look, I'm sorry, you know, I'm just partying a little bit. And she's just like, fuck her, give me some weed, you know. So she like takes a hit, you know what I mean? You can see that they were young kids, fell in love, trying to grow up, you know what I mean? So he goes to the store to get something to drink, to get beers. He wants to get more beer to keep drinking. And as he comes back, he notices police cars just lined up to his fucking house. And he notices a fire truck at the end of the driveway. And he walks up, and his wife is on a stretcher, like going fucking crazy. Like she can't even recognize him. She's like literally lost her shit. And he's just holding his beer, staring at the house. And you find out that his daughters are charred. And what happened was they were cold upstairs before he left, and one of them was crying about being cold, which they didn't put the heat on because they couldn't, to save money. So he moved them downstairs, and he started a fire for them, and it wasn't hot enough, so he put an extra log on for his daughter, and he forgot to put the grate back on. So he just wasn't paying attention. And as he was falling asleep, he was like, oh, I'm going to be hungover in the morning, so I need some hair of the dog type of thing. Well, I'm going to get some beer now. You know, I'm going to do it now. So he leaves, and I guess when he left, one of the logs kind of fell down, you know what I mean? They fall down and fell onto their blankets and just incendiary, just like went up. And the wife was high and stoned and shit, and the kids didn't know what was happening. So, and he killed his kids. And so the police bring him in the next day, and they're kind of like going, you know, what's the deal? He's explaining it, and they're kind of like, all right, you know, you can go. You know, they're feeling bad for him, obviously. And it's like the smoking weed isn't, at the time, illegal. You know, smoking coke's illegal. So he's just like, what? So that's good to go? And they're like, look, Donnie, you lost your kids, man. We ain't trying to, like, because they all know each other, small town shit, right? Like, we ain't trying to fucking, like, put you down, dog. You know, you're good. Go home, you know? So he's like, so I get to leave. I'm like, yeah, me. After this, I go home. I'm like, yeah, Donnie, or I think it's whatever his name was. Uncle Donnie. Anyways, so as he's leaving, he walks out the door, and the first thing he does is goes for a cop's gun and tries to blow his own head off. You know what I mean? Because imagine how you have a kid. I mean, imagine what you would feel. So, flash forward ahead. You know, a couple years later, he loses his brother. And he's living alone. He's a janitor. And his brother, unbeknownst to him, makes him the father of his son. gives him, doesn't tell him anything, leaves him money, leaves him the house. And it's weird because he knew this was coming. His brother had 5 years planning in advance, you know what I mean? And it starts this relationship of him as his his brother's son's guardian. And it's this really weird relationship because he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it at all. But he also can't, this is his brother's child, you know what I mean? And so he basically decides for a while he's going to try to do it. And this relationship between him and the son is fucking amazing. And there's this whole back and forth. The kid's kind of just a vagrant type of kid, really kind of a fuck off. Is into bands. He's like Stevie with Tinder. It's just hammering multiple chicks. Trying to get his uncle. He's trying to get his uncle like.
I'm not hammering multiple chicks though, man.
You have, So basically, yeah, it's this kind of war in his head. Is he going to do this or not? And because there's a will at stake, all this stuff, and the son wants him, even though he doesn't get along with him half the time. He wants him to be, the guardian. And there's this battle going on as to will he or will he not ultimately be the guardian, and what will he do? And that's at the crux of the whole story. Are you going to be the guardian or not? Is this what's up? Now, I don't want to give the story away beyond what I've already given away. What I will tell you is that sounds like some really kind of basic like storyline. It's one of the most amazing, heartfelt things ever because of the acting, because of the relationship between him and his brother's son. Imagine how unique that would be after he lost his children and he has this unwanted opportunity thrown on his lap, and he loves his brother so much and he wants to kind of redeem himself even in his own eyes, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't feel anything anymore. Right? So he does this thing once a month he gets wasted and he walks up to a bar and he'll be like, hey, I was looking across the bar, what's your name? And he's like, yeah, so-and-so. He's like, yeah, so were you looking at me, right? He's like, well, I might have looked at you, I don't know. So you did look at me, right? Yeah, I think so, bro. I don't like motherfuckers looking at me that don't fucking know me. The guy's like, what?
Justin
you
in
heard
college.
Me. Yeah, you heard me. Crack! And he does this once a month just to get in huge fights to feel. He just doesn't feel shit. He's emotionally dead. And his character's like that with everybody. He's just emotionally dead. And that's his big, thing with him. So I'll leave it at that. I will tell people that it was my pick for movie of the year. Go see it. It's really, really amazing shit. Casey Affleck, definitely into his own. Came on my phone, Steve. I got my fan questions. Casey Affleck definitely comes into his own in this. If you're a fan of the Affleck boys, you can't go wrong.
Who's the guy who played Ant-Man in the movie Ant-Man?
The comedian. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was in a movie. The general whatever sounds close to that, where he gets it. I can't remember what it is. He takes care of that special needs kid, who's just a smart ass. And his whole idea is he wants to get him out of the house, and it convinces his mom to do it. So they get a van, and they're going to take him on a cross-country ride to go see the biggest hole in
I remember The Fundamentals of Caring.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great. Netflix film.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. It's.
I mean, obviously a lot of things are different, but I just mean more so that when you...
It's dramatically different than that. Yeah, similarities in the guardian kind of caretaker type thing, but completely different. Yeah, but another great movie, by the way. Fundamentals of Caring is great, so... all right, let's get to fan questions. I have 4. Some of them are pretty basic, but we haven't talked about it, so I figure we might as well just kick it out here. Gary from Dyersville, Iowa, simply asked, hey guys, when's the next tour or live show? I got to book those this week. We're definitely, like I said earlier, we have, I'm signed with an agency, we're going to be doing some huge touring plans, but we're going to do some one-offs. We're going to do some one-off dates in April or May, you know what I mean? we've been meaning to do that. It's just if you'd have been around here and seen what we've all been doing, there's been no fucking time. But that's going to happen this week. Justin and I are going to get on and make it happen. Mary from Newark, New Jersey asked, when is the Blood Red Sky coming out? The plan is at the end of March. We have our own distribution now. I'm literally this week going to alert them to let them know that is our plan. And then I just got to finish clearing some music, and that's about it. And then we'll get that out there. Alicia from Kissimmee, Florida, one of my favorite states in Florida, asks, why don't we tour in Florida? Alicia, we have toured in Florida. Yeah. We've played Destin several times. We played Tallahassee once. We played St. Augustine twice. We have not went down Florida.
We were going to, and we ended up, canceling those. But I mean, that happens all the time. Where after we get done with the tour, people go,
say,
"Hey, why didn't you come
here?"
here? We did actually.
I want to play Florida. I'm working on doing a show in Tampa right now. I got an old friend of mine way back in the day when I was like a 12-year-old little boy. Now lives in Tampa and just gave me a great venue called The Vault that I'm looking at right now. I would like to get more into Florida. The thing is, down in the South Florida, I just don't know if our stuff would roll big in Southie, like that whole, or like South Beach, you know what I mean? I just don't know if really that's for us. But maybe I'm wrong. But I know I want to get on the Keys side, you know what I mean? On the eastern seaboard of Florida. We haven't done that at all. And that's everything from the Florida Keys. Like, why couldn't we do a show in the Keys? You know, we should. So I'm going to look into doing that.
We've toured through every city or every state except for Montana, Hawaii,
Montana, Hawaii, Alaska. Yeah, we've done a lot. So, as far as how many we haven't been through, I don't know. I mean, pretty close to most.
Oh, yeah,
suffice to say, pretty close to most. Okay, and last one here, Josh from Manville, which I know where that city is. And this is why he asked if I really grew up in Alvin, Texas. I did, Josh. Manville is the sister city to Alvin. I'm assuming you're asking because that is a very famous city. Alvin is. Those of you Texans out there, you know why Alvin is famous. It's because it is the hometown of Nolan Ryan. And Nolan still has property there. Nolan does live in Arlington, but he still has his old ranch there, which is right by my parents' old place.
Don't you know his kids?
Yeah, well, I don't know him today, but I went to school with Reed and Brian. My older brother went to school with Reese, and then I also knew Wendy, the daughter. So, I mean, I played ball with them. They were my Pee-wee team. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. At the time, I didn't know, because you're a kid, right? You don't know Jack from Jack. Yeah. I didn't know who they were until much later in my life. But yeah, look, I love Alvin. Justin would attest to this, that every time I am near Houston, I painfully force our tour bus driver to drive through my old stomping grounds. It was just a really happy time of life, and when I go back there, I always have really great memories, and it's cool to see the old places you grew up. They all look so small.
Yeah,
when you go
nostalgia.
back as an adult. Yeah, no, that's exactly how it feels. I have great memories. I mean, how many times have I driven you by the ice cream place and said, Justin, used to get free ice cream place here, Blue Bonnet, That was our shit. Like, when school got done, we grab our blue bike, little huffies, we run it over there, Bluebell ice cream, or Blue Bonnet ice cream, free ice cream. There's an ice cream plant was across from our old house, and they gave free ice cream every day to the local kids. And it was like our cool little thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a special time. So that's why I always say Texas will always be, a home to me. So having said that, good times, good episode. Thank you all for listening. If you guys are going to see that in the graphics here, that I started adding our social media, our Twitter accounts. Make sure that you do follow us on Twitter. If you look at our each of us right now, you will see our Twitter accounts. Justin's is AGH Juice,
and I went in and changed it because Chad put it as the wrong address, but it should have been that anyway originally. So
yeah, well, it's funny. Juice is Justin's nickname, and it's a part of every other handle that he has in the world. And his Twitter was AGH Justin, and in my brain it was AGH Juice. So I changed it on the stickers in our Paramerican Radio studio here. So Justin was like, "Shit, I gotta change it on everything else." So yeah, AGH Juice on Twitter, and obviously on Facebook it's what, Justin.Holstein?
Justin.Holstein, I think it's 1.
Yeah, oh, that's right, Justin.Holstein 1, because there's a copying motherfucker. Yeah,
there's another Justin Holstein who's also a sprinter who also has records. It was so weird, dude.
That fucking imposter. Yeah. They're all imposters. And of course, you can follow me at AGH Chad. And then my Facebook pages, there's 2 of them. They're kind of backwards. I don't know how this got set up. My personal page is the one that says AGH Chad. That one's full. So if you go there, don't add that one. People always go, "Dude, you're not accepting me." That's just my regular page. Go to the one that is just Chad Kalick. One word, all lowercase, Chad Kalick. That's the, I guess you can call it the fan page.
Because some people don't realize actually Facebook cuts you off on your personal
Right,
page.
and when you get to 5,000. So they think I don't, they're like, "Dick, you don't expect, I'm like, no. And when I first did it, I had no idea that things would really going to take off. So I did, my personal page is AGH Chad, should be backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My personal page should be Chad Kalick, but it's not. So just go to Facebook.com, Chad Kalick, and you could get accepted there. I use Facebook more than I use any of them, if you guys want to know. I use Twitter probably secondly, and Instagram, same thing, at AGH Chad. Stevie Tinder Zilberman, you are at S Zilber, correct?
Yep. Yeah, it's SZILB as in boy, ER, S Zilber. And I'm on Twitter, but I'm more of an Instagram dude. Same handle.
Totally.
Same handle, at S Zilber.
Yep.
And I'm going to start using Instagram more too. I enjoy it more. I had 20-some thousand people on Twitter. I was like, I don't want to shut it down, you know what I mean? So I'll just use them both, Having said that, Justin, Steve, say goodbye.
All right, we'll see you, people.
Ciao.
We are out of here. Peace.
Paramerican